Hello and welcome back everyone, welcome back to ZeldaSpeedRuns. We've got another Crosskeys tournament match for you today. Today in the losers bracket round 2, Ninban will be facing off against Prower, sorry, mispronounced that. But before we start, I have one quick thing to mention, and that is we have both of the runners actually using a MSU today. So if you want to decide what game audio we're going with today, I've got the two MSUs that the runners are going to be using in their straw poll today. And whoever wins, we'll use that racist audio. We're gonna have some democracy today. But yeah, with that being said, I've got two beautiful commentators today. I've got Clear Mouse and Walter 4, I guess. Well, or do you prefer to be Walter IV? I'm guessing 4. How are you two doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Yeah, the 4th, I guess. I'm not really picky, but.
I'm also doing wonderfully. Thank you for calling me beautiful, as well as my co-commentator, Walter. I'm looking forward to this match.
Alright.
Yeah, already getting some unearned praise. But yeah, this is gonna be...
Oh, sorry?
Oh, sorry.
Now I was just wondering where the music is still playing. It looks like we are sticking with the Chronoblade OST, so let's get that on. I don't know why the music is still playing. There we go.
Alright, looks like we are off. Both runners looking like they're starting their normal openings. Ninban starting from Sanctuary, whereas Khloe Prower is starting from Link's House. Both kind of openings has their advantages. Looks like though Khloe Prower is going to try and farm some 50-50 bomb drops, make his way to Kakariko. Ninban...
One second, sorry to interrupt you. Could I ask you to refresh the commentary page? It looks like there's some issues with the delay right now.
Sounds good. Alright, so I do see Ninban picking up quite a treasure here in the back of this cave. Found the magic mirror and the blue mail.
Yeah, for sure.
Are we more in sync now?
Yeah, that mirror is a major pickup to have early in Crosskeys. Probably one of the best early items you can find.
Yeah, having an early mirror certainly lets you have a lot more mobility between Light and Dark World. Of course, that also means potentially we get more bunny shenanigans here.
Yeah, for sure. Always nice to have it early, because a lot of the times you might find a lot of connectors where you want a mirror, but you have to like kind of isolate them until you get that mirror later on, but no such things today.
Yeah, already looking, we're finding some pretty good entrances too. Looks like Khloe Prower found the entrance to Thieves Town. There's always a really nice well, first, finding any dungeons are also just kind of like a bonus in general, but finding Thieves Town in general means that you get 4 very easy quick checks, almost as if it was overworld, very quickly.
Yeah, it looks like after going for backup escape there, Ninban decided to just do a very common fake flipper in Crosskeys over to the Witch's Hut, and then over now to the ferry drop down, so they can set up a hula hand here as well, so they can have the money to buy some bombs and get the bottle vendor when they come back to Kakariko again.
Yeah, having early money looks okay. Looks like Ninban is not going to set up the hula hand and will just walk right on by the drop down.
Yeah, prove me wrong already. Why not?
Yeah, I guess Ninban likes to be quite unpredictable here. Alright, so we do see a full heart container on the race game. Not a necessary item, but certainly a nice quality of life item to have. So unlike a regular non-cross or non-entrance seed, that race game item is not currently available until they can find a connector that leads to the other side of in this case, this building, which happens to be, in this case, Blind's Hut. Always nice to find a 5-item location. And given that Khloe took his time to farm up some 50 bomb drops, he has access to the 5th item, which is behind the bomb wall.
Yeah, we didn't get too much of value here. We did get a bottle though. Oh, and a hammer.
Oh,
That's definitely
were you saying,
value.
yes, were you saying, Walter?
I'm saying that's one of the other really good items to have early, and it looks like our Ganon is behind Aga 1 today, so that's always interesting. Probably gonna have a small key for Aga Tower to be our go mode. Classic cross key.
Yeah, of course. One of the things that runners always like to find is to find both Castle Tower small keys.
Yeah, like each of those small keys are pretty much like 2 extra ice roads we're gonna have to find, because they can pretty much be anywhere.
Right, so we did see a pickup of the big key to Skull Woods in the mushroom spot of the Lost Woods. Oh, and another big key to Eastern. Right, so that is a considered to be a more valuable big key because it actually unlocks the back of the dungeon, whereas the Skullwoods big key just unlocks another item. Certainly, it's always helpful to have that big key by the time you get to Skullwoods, but it's probably not as game-changing as the Eastern big key here.
Oh, and Ninban skipping the fortune here, but quickly remembering heading back, and good thing we're not skipping that. Although he only has 1 bomb so far, so he's gonna have to come back a little bit later.
Yeah, so unlike Khloe Prower here, Ninban does not have a permanent item or weapon to be able to use. Hopefully he will be able to find one soon. So if he does happen to find a bomb vendor, he will need a little bit more rupees in order to buy 10 bombs here. Speaking of a shop, he has found one, but now he needs about 30 more rupees. Khloe Prower putting those bombs to good use. Every single bomb, I think, has been extremely useful to get himself more items. Looks like he found a small key to Ganon's Tower. I think this was the second one, because he found one on the drop down from the Lumberjack.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Yeah, definitely important to have bombs early on. It can be quite hard to farm those up, and they're quite useful in this game mode. You're gonna need them in a lot of more scenarios than you would normally need them.
Yeah, one of the earliest entrances in Crosskeys to find, I think that's very desirable for runners, is to actually find the contents of the Graveyard Ledge. That actually has 4 free bombs and 4 free hearts, as well as a bombable wall. So it's just a really nice way to farm money, or farm bombs.
Yep, Ninban actually tried to farm for a 50-50 bomb here in Kakariko. Didn't get it, but it's gonna get those 50 rupees soon, so gonna be able to go buy some bombs. We also got a sword from Haikyuu here, so that's another good, really good and strong, reliable weapon to have.
Certainly less firepower than the hammer, but the hitbox is completely more predictable. It's certainly very nice in general to see all of the, or most at least, of the 5-item locations being discovered by both our runners very early. And we can see that the shortage of bombs here is also will actually require Ninban to backtrack a little bit because as he also visited Pet Cave, he could only get the item from the NPC. He could not get to the back of the 4 items, and he will still currently temporarily miss his sword. And finding Gina also cannot get to the back item. So hopefully he knows where there's a bomb shop, so he can actually go back and get it. So maybe, but I think he's probably hoping to kind of find some bombs here along the way.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit surprising just backtrack to the shop right away, because it was right there in Kakariko.
Crosskeys is full of little decisions that you just hope work out in your favor. Oh, he does find a small key to Swamp Palette. That is one of the probably best small keys to find in this game. Alright, then Khloe Prower here finding the a waterfall of upgrades. So this is actually quite nice. He had actually enough money to purchase a bomb upgrade. Not only does this increase his bomb capacity to 15, it gives him an automatic refill. Oh, and we see that because he picked up the bottle with a good fee, he was able to use some game knowledge here and release it and sell it to the bottle owner to get 200 rupees.
Yeah, that's some nice game knowledge for sure. You get 100 rupees for turning that B in, so pretty much bottle vendor pays for itself at that point.
That's my kind of bottle vendor. Any vendor, really, for that matter.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're at some other turning points here where many Crosskeys runners face this very frequently is when they find a connector. Do they follow the connector or do they stay in the area and keep exploring their local entrances? Looks like Khloe Prower decided to follow the Hookshot Cave connector and finds himself at the top of Pyro Castle.
Yeah, I think it made sense here because they were pretty much done in Kakariko. And did find the back of the old man here. Not going to be able to check the Aga entrance quite yet because we don't have a Master Sword Cave. We are going to see what our saving quit point to the old man later on as we rescue him is going to be. Hopefully something good for our runners. Yeah, that's not very good.
And we actually do see that the entrance that Khloe Prower exited was the Light World Bonkrocks, Light World north of Link's house Bonkrocks location. Notice that in this case, because he doesn't have the boots, this connector ended up being somewhat one-way. If he had the boots, he could choose to go back, but this is kind of also one of the dangers that you can run into Crosskeys, is if it spits you out in a location where you could, in theory, not go back, or not be able to go back at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. It's always a little bit scary. The more items you find, like the mirror or a glove, boots, stuff like that, makes you a little bit safer to do those connectors, but even just missing the moon pearl opens up the possibility to getting locked out quite often when you're checking connectors.
Yeah, certainly, probably top tier items that these runners want as Crosskeys players is the mirror, the moon pearl, and of course, everyone wants the boots, right? And certainly in this case, sure. having a glove, is also one of those kind of quality of life. Is that if you end up exiting from an entrance that required you to pick up a glove, you can always have the option of going back.
Looks like Khloe is gonna go for the back of escape here, so it's gonna be good news. Picking up their mirror. And Ninban pretty much is redoing all the Kakariko checks here now that we have bombs to clear everything out.
In the grand scheme of things, this set of minor backtracks isn't really going to cost Ninban probably too much of the time. But of course, we don't really know what's going to happen. In the rest of the seed, it could be super close race, or it could be blowout. But we'll just kind of have to see here. Oh, and we found a bow. We found a bow and the Master Sword from Mini Moldor Cave.
Yeah, that's a very nice pickup. As soon as we find Eastern, we can full clear it. Getting the Master Sword is always nice. We also do have that connector up to Aga Tower, so it could end up being quite important in the early game.
Yeah, actually, assuming Ninban ends up following the connector from Hookshot Cave, he will actually be able to explore, as you mentioned, that the middle entrance that was initially locked by either the Master Sword or the cave.
I like the decision here from Ninban heading down to the dam with finding the dam early. Ended up being nothing, but that's one of those locations where you can kind of forget sometimes that as soon as you drain the dam, you can actually get an item as well.
There are many things across these little things that I think you just, in general, sometimes people just take for granted that you don't realize you forgot until it bites you and it's your last location. One thing to note about Crosskeys as well, so in this case, because the dam can actually get re-flooded, in this case, like for example for the safe input, one difference here in Crosskeys is that once you drain the dam, it will just stay drained permanently. So then by the time you try and get into Swamp Palace, you can actually logically access it. Alright, we find Ninban in the Ice Rod Cave area. Somewhat interesting decision, because I think some runners tend to try and put this area off if we find a vanilla Ice Rod Cave. I was gonna say that, oh my god!
Wow. Okay, don't say a quitter, Ninban.
Okay, forget it. I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Nah, it makes sense to skip this for sure. It's always a little bit scary when you get over to an area and you can't get all of the entrances. But Ninban definitely got bailed out here.
You call it getting bailed out. I call it galaxy brain. Mm-hmm.
Bailing out the galaxy brain. Got it.
Yeah.
So Ninban is checking both of these entrances right next to Link's house here now, and probably at this point might head over to eastern area after this, which would be the first time we see anything over in that section so far.
Ah, assuming he doesn't get sidetracked here with Desert Palace.
Yeah, the one nice thing is to have like connectors close to your save and quit points. So even if they end up being like connectors that sidetrack you a lot, it's really easy and quick to get back to them.
It looks like Ninban is going to follow at least one of these connectors. I wonder if he'll go back to the bug end once he gets the boots.
Yeah, might not be the highest priority, but if he ends up being in here later on with the boots anyways to check some of the other chests, might as well go for it. So here's our first connector into the Dark World. We do have the mirrors, so it looks like Ninban is going to go for a little bit of a bunny traveling here. There's a couple of entrances that is in logic by walking through the Dark World here. A couple of mirror spots we can get to, and there's even connectors that could be in the Dark World in logic as well.
This is one of the features of Crosskeys, is that you get to walk around a lot as a bunny, and thereby hearing the bunny music. Ninban, though, does have to be a little careful because he is only on 2 hearts. He does have food mail, so I think he could probably take one hit potentially from one of these enemies. Not the bird, but yeah, like in this case, Crosskeys also doesn't care whether or not you have a lot of health or a little health. The enemies in the Dark World will do the same amount of damage.
Gonna have to outrun the bird here.
These are some pretty sick maneuvers here.
Okay, there we go. That was a little bit tense.
So something tells me that that was probably not Ninban's first attempt at avoiding that murder-dactyl. Looks like Khloe Prower is also going to follow in Ninban's footsteps here, taking his tour in Desert Palace, and most likely also check out the left connector, which also will lead into Dark World. We'll see how much further he goes.
we'll see if Khloe... Looks like Khloe is deciding to do a little bit of bunny traversal here as well.
We see Ninban taking advantage of his Super Bunny form. He managed to get this when he dropped down, in this case, through that connector. And when you drop down as a Super Bunny, you get to use some certain abilities that the Link version has, such as slashing into sword. Very, and then the fact that he had a health refill from the fairies, and he had a Master Sword led him to basically a lot more defense and have sword beams to deal with those minimal ones.
Yeah, definitely good thinking there. Did find a connector road to race game there, which is interesting. Obviously, it didn't really have anything too important today anyways, but we did have access to it by just walking down a mirror to it as well. Khloe has to be a little bit careful here now.
Right, we do see on Ninban's side that he is cycling through items without actually pulling up the menu screen. This is also another really nice feature or ability that entrance seats have. It's called Quick Swap. So you are allowed to use the L and R buttons to cycle through your items instead of having to pull up the menu all the time. This is currently exclusively just for entrance seats.
Yeah,
for how long entrance seats can take, this time saving certainly can be quite noticeable.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very nice quality of life help here. I mean, if you don't like checking random entrances, at least you can play the mode and just do some quick swap instead.
Alright, we see Ninban finding also his way to Thieves Town. He will pick up his first 4 items. Looks like Prower found his way to Skull Woods. And looks like he took an intentional death to, in this case, Nico revive. So what happens in the dark world is that if you die in a dungeon, regardless of not whether you have the moon code, you will revive in Link form and not bunny form. So if in this case you take a death, you can explore the dungeon as Link would. So this will certainly give you a lot more access to the dungeon, but certainly not logically required.
Yeah, for sure. It's a nice little trick you can do. If you have to travel the dark world as a bunny, you might as well try and get some dungeon items on the way as well. And you can actually even get grabbed by the Wallmaster in order to get back into Link form. So this chest here in the pinball room is actually always vanilla in Crosskeys, which is actually pretty helpful. It makes the routing of Skullwoods pretty good because you can just pick up the chest in the pod and then just walk all the way around. Then get this one chest with the small key so you can get to the back of Skullwoods later. Getting our small key to Hyrule Castle, which most of the times doesn't really matter too much, especially when you have access to the back of Escape, but it is a little bit interesting because it does put all of that chest finally in logic now in Hyrule Castle, although we have not found any of the entrances to the front yet.
Crosskeys' key logic is somewhat more of a suggestion than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. You'll definitely end up sequence breaking whenever you can, most of the times in Crosskeys, but especially towards the end of the race, it could be good to have some idea of the key logic and stuff like that, so you know what to pursue and not. Did find the Aga entrance, which is good for our runners. We're gonna have to beat that entrance sooner or later.
Yeah, can't wait to go back with both castle tower keys.
Yeah, and I think, unless I'm mistaken, back of or the Kakariko well is in the pyramid, I think. Unless I totally missed that earlier.
We did not see the well drop down. That is correct.
Yeah, so it should probably be in the the pyramid then. So we might actually get two, I guess, today if we're lucky. Both runners getting out on the entrance there in the village, and both forgetting to mirror in the correct place, taking a little bit of an unfortunate mirror bonk there. But since both did it, none of them really lost any time by doing it, I suppose.
Yeah, having playing Crosskeys definitely really test your knowledge of mirror locations. I mean, so certainly in non-entrances, typically you only probably mirror in probably like a handful of locations. Let's say outside of the dam or like right outside Skull Woods, right? But normally in Crosskeys, when you're going through a lot of random entrances, like you end up bonking a lot because you're just probably not familiar or you're just not used to it.
So we're kind of at that interesting point where we have seen the majority of the Light World entrances already, but we still don't have a move pearl yet. I think we have 3 over in the desert area, 2 right before desert, and the Vanilla Agina's cave left. But other than that, I think we've seen all of the Light World entrances that we know that we have access to at the moment. There was a connector here in the Vanilla Agate Tower, so Ninban is going to be able to check that out now with the Master Sword.
But this connector is always nice to find the top entrance and then drop down versus finding the bottom entrance and go back up. It's slightly faster to drop. But you take what you can get in Crosskeys, so.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, okay, this is actually really good. With the mirror here, it gives us a lot of access on Death Mountain. And Ninban actually decided to go back into the portal. Looks like he's gonna check out what the Turtle Rock medallion is. Hope that they're not gonna forget to check the top of Paradox Cave here. Okay, looks like we're skipping it for now. They might be coming back here for East Death Mountain later.
Yeah, it's certainly possible Ninban just wants to take a loop, maybe. Take care of Light World Death Mountain, and then go back, or just take care of all of Light World's Death Mountain, and then do that loop later. Oh, we find the back of Turtle Rock for Laser Bridge.
Always funny to find Laser Bridge early. Really test your skills on the laser skips.
At least they have a very safe entrance here if they want to keep trying. So laser skip without boots is certainly definitely more challenging. So at least in entrance, unlike normal non-entrance seeds, doing Laser Bridge without an invisibility item, or in this case the Mirror Shield, is actually strictly out of logic. This was one of the quality of life improvements that I think AA initially wanted in this case, because in Crosskeys you could stumble upon Laser Bridge with 3 hearts and 3 mail, and to put something explicitly that forces you to do this in logic is not certainly kind to runners. Ninban does find a really nice item, which is the King of Samaria, so he actually can choose to keep going into the rock if he wants to.
A very convenient place to find that, King of Samaria. We could actually go quite far, all the way up to Shane Chump's room from here.
In this case, like, Ninban found the King of Samaria, like, run on Laser Bridge, so he can keep going to the rock. When he went to the Ice Rock Cave area, he just happened to find a glove, which means that he could check the other location. Ninban is certainly having some good fortune.
Yeah, routing definitely working out so far. Looks like we're just going up here to the Crystal Roller room for now. Makes sense. It's a bit of a time commitment to continue after that. Especially you have no keys as well, so you would have to kill the Pokey as well, which can be a bit annoying with the Master Sword and when you're in low health.
I do have an Ether medallion pickup, not a current medallion that we know that will open up a dungeon, but Ether in general can still be very useful as a both offensive and defensive weapon.
So Khloe heading over to the desert area instead of the Ice Road Cave is gonna end up being quite unfortunate, because I'm not gonna get the glove quite yet, and I'm gonna orphan a location here at the moment. Unless, I guess, we find the other glove, which would be super convenient.
Yeah, if Ninban could have this kind of luck, it's only fair that Khloe Prower also has some luck too, right?
One would think so, right? And meanwhile, Ninban did find the one of the entrances to Paradox Cave. Really nice. 7 items in here, and also 2 connectors.
Yeah, I think in this case...
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, he ended up finding his way from Dark Death Mountain, mirrored back to Light World Death Mountain on the west side, and then found his way through a connector to the east side. Finding a fire rod and the powder. Wow, these are good pickups.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. We do know where Magic Bat is as well, so gonna be able to do that whenever he feel like it. Finding another really interesting connector here over to the Tart Rock ledge, I think is what people normally call it, and it's gonna be able to mirror here as well to check some of the entrances in the Light World too.
Does not look like the most convenient locations for the bomb shop, but you know, I assume he has still enough business though there to still make a living.
Yep, and we keep finding vanilla entrances here with the vanilla Tart Rock. No, actually, this was in the Light World. Never mind. I guess it's French vanilla. It's fine.
Dark chocolate, dark world vanilla.
Ooh, did get hit by the button beam though, so... Did Ninban get the Moon Pearl?
He did not. Did he death roll? Or did he death revive?
Oh yeah, we're in the Light World. Sorry.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
I keep forgetting we're in the Light World.
Yeah, as you also mentioned earlier, fighting Pokies off with a Master Sword is certainly can be slow and kind of somewhat dangerous, but because Ninban picked up the Fire Rod, he has a lot easier time.
Yeah, Ninban's early game routing here has definitely been paying off quite a bit. see if that luck can hold on.
Hey, what a nice bomb refill location. And this is also kind of nice to find the vanilla mimic cave location to be just this like one chest, room. That means that basically they will then never have to visit this place again.
Yep. Yeah, it's always nice when you can have your routing be as efficient as possible. And right now, Ninban's routing is definitely that. Is being able to just pair a lot of checks together, which is really nice.
So we do see Khloe Prower picking up a small key to GT. In the Dark World, I think he tried to do a couple mirror transitions right across the door. So this is also part of some bunny shenanigans, is that if you don't have the Moonpro in your bunny form, you can mirror right as the same on the same frame as you transition and walk through the door. You can actually enter Super Bunny State, and Super Bunny State will let you actually pick up or open chests.
Yep, it will not be in logic, but it's definitely one of those nice tricks you can do, so you don't have to like backtrack back to this area again later.
Yeah, certainly probably one of the most time-consuming things in Crosskeys is how much you have to backtrack. So whatever you can do, first go around, you try and do that as much as you can. As bunny form, unfortunately, we cannot do the digging, so Khloe Prower will have to put that off until the later time when we find the Moonpro. Fun fact, bunnies can interact and talk to NPCs, so if you actually go to the digging game manager, he will still take your money, which is 80 rupees, but you unfortunately still cannot do anything.
Yep, definitely a bit rude in that sense, but
yeah, maybe that pack wasn't as fun as I initially thought it was going to be.
It's definitely a good life lesson.
I thought Zora was our only life lesson.
I mean, at least sometimes Sora gives you the item when you pay.
That's true. That is true.
Ninban is going to do the trip over to this as well. It's going to be able to check that one entrance that Khloe had to skip because of not having the gloves quite yet. We are still searching for that elusive Moonpro at the moment to really open up the sea.
Yeah, looks like Khloe Prower found the red mail sitting on top of the library today. May or may not get that. Probably depends on this location. It looks like it's actually like pretty convenient. At least like pretty close out in the overworld. So I wouldn't be surprised if runners get it. But also at the same time, it's red mail. I don't know if they would necessarily go back. And given that Khloe had actually decided not to do the race game for the extra heart container, he probably feels like he doesn't need as much safeties.
Okay, so Khloe pretty much did the full route here in the Dark World. Didn't get much for it, but is probably going to head over to the Ice Rock Cave area now, so that's going to be some good news at least.
Yeah, he'll also have the same good fortune as Ninban did. I'm not sure if he'll quite react in the same kind of way, but it's fortune is what you make of it.
Yeah, we'll see if Khloe Prower gets baited into maybe almost even quitting as well here. Definitely your knee-jerk reaction when you checking pretty much the last item in this chain here.
going through these types of connectors really makes you appreciate having boots just that much more.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going through this connector only to go into the next connector here to get back up to the mountain. Oh, and looks like Khloe is gonna go for maybe a fake flipper here as well. Does not have the money for Sora, but could fake flipper over to the hobo, and then after that go to the island where you normally can buy bombs and arrow upgrades.
And it looks like Khloe had a bomb setup for the fake flipper. I am glad that he has enough health to I guess do it. But in this case, it's certainly a very fast and a very consistent setup to do fake flipper. But maybe he doesn't need to worry about health. If he's just going to, he can always take a death warp out and to refill his health here, or he can just end his route. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Because he does not have. Well, he doesn't have the fire rod that Ninban found earlier. So had he found it, I think he also had a small key to Skull Woods. But I think if he had a fire rod, he potentially could have decided to beat Mafia.
It was missing that small key, I think, because they jumped into the pinball room instead of walking through there. Mm-hmm. So they had to waste that key, I think, unfortunately. Okay.
So we did find, looks like Prower, Ninban is wandering around Hyrule Castle. Did find the middle location, or the entrance to Hyrule Castle, is the right side of desert, so he'll never have to go back there again either.
Okay, so where do you think we're gonna find our Moonfall today? Definitely a little bit out of the way so far.
Yeah, they haven't really. I mean, they've explored so much already. It could be here in Hyrule Castle. At least that's what probably Ninban is hoping for.
Yeah, as far as he knows, only the first chest would be in logic, but since we saw that small key, the other two chests here could potentially have them in Pro as well.
So it looks like actually between the runners, they picked up quite a few small keys to Ganon's Tower. Hopefully they can find that entrance soon. Certainly a good indication that there's going to be something there.
Khloe is going to head up to Death Mountain here as well. They don't know it quite yet, but they're going to find it out quite soon. Gotta take a while to clear everything out there, but definitely going to be able to pick up a couple of good items.
Yeah, in this case, taking 3 different connectors just to get to Light World Death Mountain would really help these runners out if they can find a flute. Looks like just a bottle with a green potion, probably not the thing that Ninban specifically desired. Certainly not a bad pickup. Always nice to have another safety. But our quest continues, and we find our way in the Mire area.
Okay, not a bad connector. I mean, kind of bad in the case of that you have to take multiple connectors to get to this one. But gonna make the most of it. Let's get a couple of entrances there in logic at least.
Yes, in logic is certainly something always to be desired, and finding finding new entrances and locations is certainly something that these ringers are definitely looking for to get there through. In this case, 4 connectors is probably not the path that they specifically were looking for.
Okay, finding the front to touch rock, that's pretty good. We do have the fire rods, we can get 3 items here. And at that point, Ninban would only be missing the big chest and Trinex from touch rock.
Yeah, it's certainly possible that there is just like a Kina Berna or a cave just kind of like floating around. So because Ninban picked up the Canis Maria at Laser Bridge, which is what Khloe Prower is currently trying to do, they don't have an invisibility item, or this is the mirror shield, so this Canis Maria is technically out of logic. So this part, in theory, is all out of logic. However, it could also just be that none of us have found the invisibility item that puts all this in logic.
Mm-hmm.
And that red beetle rebound is somewhat not predictable.
Yeah, Laser Bridge on low health is definitely a bit of a pain. Khloe is powering through and getting these items.
Yeah, that Canis Maria is a really nice pickup for Khloe Prower. I'm sure he's happy that he stuck it through and completed Laser Bridge. Meanwhile, on Ninban's side, he did pick up a book in the Fire Rod Lock side of Troll Rock. And given that he does have the Master Sword, so he can actually go and get the prize off of both tablets.
Yeah, that would be kind of rude if that's what you have to do here. So it's a bit of a awkward path to go to either of those tablets at the moment.
Yeah, I wonder if you could do like runner game swap, right? Because Khloe Prower right here is very, very close to the Ether tablet.
Yeah. Well, this definitely looks like an interesting play. We have pod, we have bow and hammer, and we have 3 keys, so we have a lot of logic here at the moment. Could actually clear out everything except for Helmasaur right now if you want to, and the big chest. It's gonna decide to open the middle door first instead and just save some time by not having to do all the loot around and hopefully have enough keys coming back the next time around. Interesting that the Ninban did not decide to go for the bow side first, because you're gonna have to go there at one point or another to get those 2 items at least.
I guess I'm curious if he's interested in safe stemming any amount of these keys. I think I missed exactly where pod was, so I'm not sure if it was like a convenient location. But I don't know if he saved and quit recently, so maybe not.
It was in the desert main entrance, so it doesn't have to go through all of those connectors again to get back there, but it's still quite a bit of a walk to just be going all the way down there.
Yeah, in this case, also, as you pointed out, just having trying to get as many chests as you can in pod, certainly to your advantage, because you don't really want to make multiple trips here. I think it probably makes Hammer Yum probably more useful, because you can also save a key here in the Dark Maze. Although, like, hey, look, there's a Kina Berna.
Yay, we have our book in logic now. That's probably exactly what Ninban was hoping for.
Yeah, certainly if you follow the game's logic to a T, this would kind of require you to kind of like go back, right, and like redo all the things that we're out of logic for Turtle Rock. Of course, in this case, we don't have to, right? Because we can sequence break intelligently.
Yes, that's why the runners don't care about the logic too much. All I can think about though is the Pearl is probably gonna be on Sora. I can just feel it. It might be because I had Pearl on Sora in my first 2 races in this tournament, but it's gonna be there.
Certainly, because it happened to you twice, means that it will never happen to these runners.
I'm pretty sure. Nah, I'm pretty sure if it happens to someone twice, it happens to everyone else too.
Ninban checking out the dark basement. He does have the fire rod to help him light his way. However, because this is an entrance seed, in order to put dark rooms in logic, you explicitly do need the lamp and not the fire rod. Not that I doubt either of these players' abilities to navigate their way in the dark, but of course, logic is just a suggestion.
Nice bomb jump there by Ninban, being able to pick up these 2 chests in the dark maze without using a key. Actually doesn't even have any keys left, so that was the only option to even get in here.
He just needs to survive to get the last chest. Worst case, he does have the King of Burnout and a little bit of magic, so he can be saved in a pinch.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate when he has to be really careful here now. Just waiting out that fire makes sense. You keep Forgotten Tower in the big chest of Turtle Rock there. That's an entrance that Ninban actually skipped on that mountain.
Yeah, also technically not in logic, looks like because it ended in the Dark World, and they did have to, in this case, dungeon revive. But of course, find the Moon Pearl, it puts everything kind of back in logic here. And yes, the Turtle Rock Big Key, I believe, was in Sahasrala's closet, so I think both runners picked it up. So when Ninban goes back, he'll also be able to get the big key to GT.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds where it's like, it's a little bit awkward when you end up getting like a lot of good items early on, like the hammer and mirror, stuff like that. But you're still like kind of blocked for quite a while because not having the Moon Pearl, which it never feels good. It feels like you're just bleeding time at that moment. But both runners definitely having some issues finding the Moon Pearl at the moment. So
yeah, and really, as you mentioned before, even like both players ended up mirror bonking out of the hedge. House from Kakariko, because both runners were also, having issues, like it doesn't really give either runner an advantage or a disadvantage. It just kind of nullifies everything out.
Yeah, and Khloe really went for this pokey, even though they already had a key, which makes me think that Khloe Prower might actually be thinking of going all the way to the front of Turtle Rock from the side, because otherwise they could have just spent that key and come back for the pokey later if they really had to.
We did see a new check on Ninban's side. He dropped down Magic Bat and gave us another pod key. Khloe Prower needs to be a little careful here with the chain challenge. He has not visited Pod, so he does not have that King of Burna, but he... Oh, okay. I guess looks like he doesn't want to keep going.
Yeah, let's take it that way. I think that they're actually not done on Light Roll Death Mountain, so that might be playing a part here as well. Because if they went all the way to the front, they would probably want to check the exit, and then they would be locked out of Death Mountain at that point. Did see some more information here. Skullwood's being a pendant, and I think Swamp Palace, or was it Ice Palace being the other pendant?
I think I missed that map check.
Looks like Ice Palace was the other pendant, so that's full crystal knowledge for Khloe. Doesn't know about the red crystals yet, but probably will end up finding the bomb shop geyser. The location that the big bomb shop dude is in today actually means that we're gonna have to find flute if the pyramid bomb is gonna end up being required.
Another great feature of Crosskeys logic. It's actually kind of neat, right? Because normally, I think in any other mode, like you would not have to flute with the big red bomb, but in this case, you get that privilege in Crosskeys. And so we did see Ninban walking his way to Ether Tablet. Unfortunately, I think it was just 10 arrows, so he will have to continue his search for progression. Finding Super Bunny Cave, actually being a Super Bunny here. Big Key to Mire and Half Magic. Oh, these are actually really nice pickups. Half Magic with Fire Rod certainly can make clearing dungeons a lot faster, as well as boss fights.
Yep, for sure. And this actually couldn't end up being in logic if this is a Light World dungeon or Light World exit here, but it wasn't. Does get to pick up this. Okay, it was only a heart piece, but still gets him another heart.
Yeah.
I guess none of our runners have actually checked that powder yet. For Khloe, it makes a lot of sense because they literally just got the powder. Ninban has been holding on for it for quite a while, though.
Oh, you mean for Magic Bat? Oh, yeah, I think actually Ninban I think checked it a couple minutes ago. Yeah, he ended up picking up a 4th hotkey.
I see. My bad.
No worries. You only have 2 eyes. There are too many things going on here. Alright, so Ninban going to... it looks like he was thinking about it. So he probably could have chose to do something else or walk into the pit 9 times so he can link revive in the dungeon to get the contents and keep going to go on.
Yeah, definitely a bit slow, but definitely worth it, I think.
So, according to I think our tracker, he has all 4 bottles. A good thing he has no fairies. That would have been pretty sad.
Yeah, about. You hate to see that, that's for sure.
So we are about slightly under an hour in to this seed. Not quite sure how much progression these runners have found in the last 15 or 20 minutes. Hey, speaking of which, though, we found Ice Palace.
Yeah, and we do have the big key as well as the hammer and the gloves, so we could actually full clear this. Even have the King of Samaria, so we could go for an icebreaker play. We would have to go the long way around to get to Ice Tea Room, however, because of the lack of small keys.
Yeah, but finding one Ice Palace small key kind of out in the wild, or maybe we could find one in here in the dungeon, really makes routing a lot nicer. It's one of those like underappreciated small keys because everyone thinks, oh, you don't need Ice Palace small keys don't unlock everything as compared to Swamp Palace small key, but I mean there are really nice quality of life elements here.
Very nice showcase here from Ninban, showing off that the Quake Medallion only kills the Pengators when they're actually standing on the ground, not when they're jumping in the air. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why he waited a little bit to use the Quake there.
Alright, looks like we are going to get a glimpse of Icebreaker here.
Ooh, and we also find Eastern in the Titansmith's locked entrance on East F Mountain. Well, Titansmith's locked if you're down on East F Mountain, but Khloe Prower managed to jump down there from above, so it's going to be able to full clear this. So we're going to get two dungeons clears here at the same time. Fortunately for Ninban, it's going to be a pendant on his side. Khloe Prower is going to be able to get a crystal, but the big question is who's going to get progression.
And we did see also Khloe Prower picking up a small key to Ice Palace, so by the time he gets back to Ice Palace, he will have a slightly nicer routing through the dungeon.
Yep, always nice to see.
Hey, a Tempered Sword. That is not considered progression, but significantly welcome. Ninban probably very happy that he found half magic before he found Ice Palace.
Yeah, for sure. Not having bombos as well, so half magic being a very nice safety here. Not sure if he has any green potions in one of those 4 bottles.
He has at least one because he picked a bottle with green potion in Hyrule Castle basement.
And that's our moon crawl. Okay, that's a major pickup for Khloe.
The Moon Pearl search, at least for one of our runners, is finally over, slightly over the 1 hour mark. I'm sure Khloe Prower was very happy to see that.
Yeah, that's gonna end up being quite important for sure. And being able to grab it before your opponent gets the Moon Pearl, we don't even know how long time it's gonna take for Ninban to get back there. That could definitely give them quite a bit of an advantage for a while here now.
Like, Ninban will take his time to clear Cold Stare. He looks like he will have just enough magic, with half magic here and Fire Rod shots.
Yep, these 2 small magic here pretty much gives 4 extra shots with the Fire Rod, so should be fine. And does have the potion there as an extra safety.
Yeah, by the time that Khloe Prower comes to Ice Palace, I'll only have a Tempered Sword to fight Cold Stare, so he doesn't have to hammer Cold Stare to death. He will also have that small key, so he'll be able to clear this stuff a lot faster.
Okay, Ninban has played quite safe here now. Cannot take any more hits. So he's just gonna go for the Fire Rod for the rest here.
Oh man, how did that not hit? I mean, I'm glad it didn't hit, but jeez.
I was playing it pretty close with the ice hits there afterwards as well. It looks like we actually didn't get really anything from Ice Palace. Not even a crystal. I'm probably not going to be too happy about that.
At least Ninban didn't die. So, I mean, if he died there, I think it would have been pretty painful. I mean, my guess is he probably wouldn't go back. Oh, I don't know. I guess, but like having to go, if you chose to, go back and beat there, that is quite a bit bad. We did see the quick kill armors on Khloe Prower side, very nicely done. Picks up 10 bonds as a prize pack for the drop.
And I wouldn't be too surprised to see Khloe Prower just clear out the few things remaining here on Death Mountain and then just head straight into the Dark World. It's gonna go into Ice Palace here first, so that's good news for Ninban. Most of the times that he spent here in Ice Palace is gonna be spent by Khloe as well. Just gonna have a little bit of a smoother routing here with the one small key.
And unfortunately, he did not pick up half magic before coming into Ice Palace, so he will have to be a little bit more conservative with his magic usage. And it's also a good thing that you specifically called out that both runners had a glove, so then they can full clear Ice Palace. One of the things to remember in entrance for Ice Palace is that because the Ice Palace entrance is not always locked by the Titan Spits, you may not always have the glove when you stumble upon Ice Palace, and that block blocks that is in that room right after this one is a room that a lot of runners forget that they actually need a glove in order to get the switch.
Yeah, and for sure. I have definitely not made that mistake once.
Of course not. That's why we don't mention it here.
Not once, but maybe more.
Looks like Khloe Prower also pulls off Icebreaker. Certainly very well done. I think probably just after like 1 or 2 tries.
Ninban is going up Death Mountain one more time, so probably gonna find Eastern Palace here.
I think, is this his 3rd time?
Yeah, there were so many connectors up here, so they've been kind of like back and forth in the Death Mountain in a kind of a convoluted way, to be honest. Like, if you thought inverted is annoying to ride in Death Mountain, but Crosskeys definitely that beat for sure.
Yeah, certainly something that separates probably more, I would say, like casual Crosskeys runners versus more competitive versus very good Crosskeys runners is being able to take advantage and track the connectors. Some connectors could be like your only way path into certain areas, and if you kind of like don't either recognize that or like forget, that can make your Crosskeys experience incredibly painful.
Yeah, this is definitely going to end up being good for Ninban overall, though. It's going to get that move pearl, which is going to be the most important find in here. And both of our runners going to be able to just fully explore the Dark World after this.
He probably does wish that he found Eastern, before he found Ice Palace, but he still finished Ice Palace with no issues whatsoever. Definitely did not only have 1 heart left.
Ooh, extra key, being able to get some extra magic before the boss fight here.
Actually, very important, looks like, because I think he did not have, with only the 2 magic drops, he would not have enough magic to break their shell.
Yeah, needed 4 to get back up to full magic after the Icebreaker and some of the Fire Rod shots they had to do throughout the dungeon.
Dying to Cold Stare after you break the shell can be actually even more painful than probably dying in like a normal dungeon. For example, maybe like Mire is not only do you have to make your way back to the boss, if you don't have magic in this case for Cold Stare, or you actually need magic to actually get through the first room to kill the Freezor. So if you don't have magic, you have to go somewhere out and go find magic yourself, which, especially in Crosskeys, can actually be quite the challenge.
Alright, Khloe saving and quitting. Having the hammer and glove actually gives us normal Dark World access at this point, so I'm not going to have to rely on connectors getting into the Dark World now, which is always nice.
Did you say something about normal Dark World access? We don't pay attention to that in Crosskeys.
I mean, probably should at this point.
Will certainly make the routing a lot nicer. And having the Moon Pearl, Khloe Prower can actually go back to digging game and finally dig up his prize that he found, what, like 35 to 40 minutes ago?
Yep, looks like they're skipping it though. I can kind of understand that in one way, because you have a lot of entrances over here that you haven't checked, but at the same time, the game ends something. It's 2 guaranteed items. Could be nice to find before you get into just because there's not really many dungeons we can clear at this point.
And so maybe he is interested in taking the pyramid to maybe Catfish?
Yeah, that's fair. That's 2 items as well, and you can always get those the game and Stumpy after going back into Village of Outcast again, because we still have a few entrances there that we weren't able to check the first time because of being in bunny mode.
Yeah, I guess it looks like neither runner has found the flippers yet, but I guess in this case, perhaps he can also go pay off Zora if he chooses a mirror.
Yep. Well, we could actually, with the bow, set up some Ancilla fake flipper to get into the waterfall as well, just to at least see what entrance is behind that.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. I guess I am curious to know if either runner knows the Ancilla fake flipper using the bow and bombs. I guess we'll see if Khloe Prower chooses to pursue that. So, with Eastern Palace cleared on Ninban's side, looks like he is following suit using the more traditional Dark World portal. Going to find Chess Game, and then I guess we'll see where he goes.
Okay. Could be nice if we find Spike Cave. We also have some knowledge of where. Oh, okay. Looks like we're going for the fake flipper here. But yeah, we also know where the one part of the bumper cave is as well.
That is true. Yeah. Looks like, as you mentioned, he is going to try and get the Ancilla fake flipper to get this entrance.
Yeah, you can stand really close to the left side here if you want to, so you don't have to shoot the arrows as far, but it gets it now, so it's fine. And it's Mire, can't do anything in there quite yet, but it's good knowledge.
Yeah, and given that Mire is a crystal, we will certainly need the flippers at some point. Hey, we found our 4th sword. Do you think Khloe Prower is going to try and fake flipper again?
Maybe. Can always try it once at least. Still have a lot of bosses left to do, so maybe. Probably not the highest priority though.
I was afraid he was always going to get sniped by that fireball. I guess he's more on top of things than I am.
Yeah, it definitely looked a little bit sketchy, but I'm sure Khloe was not even breaking a sweat at that point.
Looks like Ninban decided to divert and not go towards Pyramid, instead go towards Stumpy and the digging game, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think it makes a little bit more sense for Ninban because they didn't do the full Dark World route down to Swamp Palace that Khloe did, so they had a lot more interest of going over into that direction.
It looks like Khloe Prower is going to take advantage of that cave that he just found and going to follow the bumper cave connector.
Well, looks like we're doing the pod area. That was one of the interesting things with the entrance. Sometimes you don't play the game; the game just plays you instead, and you just get to follow whatever direction the game decides that you should go.
Yeah, you just have to hope that the game is somewhat merciful to you and doesn't lead you on like multiple connecting logical kind of like back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Like multiple connectors up to Death Mountain.
Maybe it was a character builder at the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because Khloe and Ninban took quite a bit of divergent paths in the early game, but they kind of synced up in the end there, just doing Ice Palace and Eastern, but in different orders. And then as soon as they got Dark World access, they're just diverging again.
Yeah, it certainly looked like things kind of bottlenecked at the Moon Pearl. Because it looked like you can find a lot and do a lot, and then you have to find the Moon Pearl. And it looks like, as you mentioned, once they have the Moon Pearl, and now they kind of have like all of Dark World open to them again, they're just going to go on their merry way.
So Khloe Prower deciding to walk all the way out here. I'm not sure what's left in this area for them.
Did he end up checking Dark World Fruit 5 location?
I think that they did it before, but I could be wrong. Okay, I guess not.
Maybe Flu 5 Light World location? I mean, they do have the mirror. I guess I'm not sure, like, what... I guess that would be the only thing out here.
Yeah, I think most of the times it's probably faster to go to this one first. But both of them ended up being nothing. So we'll just do a same quick from here. Really nice to have Sanctuary in Kakariko. It's going to be a fast travel into the Dark World portal from here.
Yeah.
With the quick swap, every time you go to Sanctuary, you kind of want to just click the L button once and then just mirror out of the Sanctuary to save some time.
Yeah, I was actually curious as to why Khloe Prower ended up not doing that, but maybe if he was maybe like tracking entrance or writing something else down, it's just a lot easier to hold down.
Yeah, definitely easy to forget small details here and there, especially when you've been maybe a little bit flustered trying to find like a Moon Pearl for 1 hour and 10 minutes.
And so we did see Ninban checking the pedestal for us. Unfortunately, Ice Palace Quilling Cold Stare was not necessary unless they wanted some pocket change. Alright, looks like Khloe Prower is taking the south path here. Probably going to check his dig game and Stumpy. I'm sure I just missed some misses on Ninban's side. I assumed he checked the K45 location.
Yes, I think it was nothing of value at least.
Yes. So even though both runners were kind of over here in the general area before, especially when Khloe Prower found the digging game, but just kind of walked past Stumpy, because he had to slash those bushes, Stumpy is actually not in logic until you have a move for him. Because as a bunny, you cannot remove those bushes in your path. Even though you can talk to Stumpy and get something.
Yeah, that's always a little bit sad when you're walking so close to an item but you can't get it. So Khloe is gonna head back into the dark world here, I imagine. Maybe go for the vanilla bumper cave entrance and then head over to Graveyard Ledge. Because I think everything else in this area has kind of been explored by Khloe already at this point.
Yeah, we do see, after so much divergence, it looks like both runners at this point are just kind of retracing each other's steps.
Yep. Oh, I guess back of Skullwoods is something that they couldn't check earlier as well.
Oh no! Oh no, Ninban. He got hit from something. They ended up losing Kiki. Thankfully, he has over 1,000 rupees, so he's probably not hurting for cash too much that he lost Kiki. Probably more upset that he had the time loss instead.
Yeah, probably a bit more of a pride loss there, rather than hurting for money. I think Ninban would probably be very dead before running out of money here. Okay, so we do see the Graveyard Ledge. I think, did Khloe skip the bumper ledge though? Might be heading back to it now.
Khloe... Sorry, bumper? Oh, I'm sorry, I need to refresh this one.
Yeah, the commentary stream kinda updated right as Khloe was supposed to go in the Graveyard Ledge. I completely missed what was in that entrance. Not sure. They went back out quickly, it looked like, so maybe nothing important.
So on Ninban's side, he went back to Aga Tower with his 1 Castle Tower small key and found 20 rupees for his trouble. So on we go to find the next Castle Tower small key. Also, where is the lamp?
That's a good question. If you're not comfortable with dark rooms, you might have a bit of a less than ideal experience playing Crosskeys, that's for sure. Because that lamp can, just in normal rando, it can be in so many annoying places, but in Crosskeys, it's kind of like doubled for sure. I wouldn't actually even be surprised if we see some dark Aga action in case they end up in go mode without the lamp in the end here.
Dark Aga is probably one of the least practiced dark runes from our runners. I think probably not only the fact that no one really wants to probably do Aga willingly, but also Dark Aga is probably even less on their priority list.
Yeah, for sure. Something that helps though is the fire rod. There's a lot of torches in Aga Tower, especially in some of the harder rooms. So if you end up having the fire rod, which both our opponents, both our runners here have, then that can definitely help out in Aga Tower quite a lot. That's an interesting connector for Khloe Prower, and gonna be able to use Mirror here and check what's in the light world.
Alright, so unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you know, this connector or that entrance leads to nothing. That entrance is probably one of the most forgotten entrances in Crosskeys. Khloe Prower does have to be. I mean, he is only on half a heart. Looks like on Ninban's side, he is depleting his oh, he is increasing his magic? He was spamming the Kingdom of Mario, but at some point he would, like, his magic meter did go up. I'm not sure what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad that fireball didn't land.
That question, what is Ninban trying to do? That's something that I think Ninban is quite used to hearing. Alright, so presumably Ninban here is going to pay up 500 rupees to get his heart piece. My guess is he probably won't pick it up. We'll see if he wants that fourth sword. Realizing that he no longer can walk on water with surfaces because he was knocked out earlier, he has to kind of go the long way. Yep, remember that sooner than later at least. So they don't have to backtrack too much there. Okay, looks like we're going back up that mountain again. I think that the only thing that Khloe has not seen up on that mountain might be part of the Dark Death Mountain, especially the normal hookshot cave, because they didn't have the move early on there. They might have skipped the Dark Death Mountain on the east side as well. I'm not 100% sure. I know Ninban saw it. I'm not sure about Khloe.
Yeah, it really does seem like we're missing a good amount of mobility items. You know, we still haven't found the boots. We don't have even a hook shot. We don't have the flute. We don't have flippers. Yeah, I think even now, when they find a dungeon entrance, it doesn't really look like we have enough equipment even to make like that much headway into the dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely still some key items missing at the moment. I like how both Khloe and Ninban both automatically jumped underwater in Swamp Palace, only to realize they don't have flippers.
At least the fact that Swamp Palace is in Beatstown location is less punishing for them to forget that they don't have flippers than if it were in the vanilla location. At least in a non-infancy, because what you do is you probably just drain the dam and then walk in and then realize you wasted like 45 seconds.
Yep, that's never a fun moment, that's for sure. So I wonder, have Ninban checked Ether Tablet yet? Because I don't think so.
Ninban did check Ether Tablet way back when. He found 10 arrows of his troubles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think one of his many trips up Duck Mountain was specifically to check that.
It looks like, according to our tracker here, Ninban actually has 3 small keys to Skullwoods, which would actually put Mothfly into logic right now.
Yeah, I cannot actually remember where the entrance to the backup skull was. I know that Khloe Prower found it very early. I'm not sure if Ninban has seen it yet. But when Khloe Prower found that side, I think he was missing a small key, so then he couldn't actually go back.
Yeah, I wonder if it was maybe around the eastern area, but I could be wrong about that for sure. I have been known to be wrong about stuff.
Of course not. I've never seen you be wrong, Walter, so therefore you must not have ever been wrong.
Okay, I can go with that.
Alright, looks like Ninban will give us his check to Graveyard Lunch, so because we had some technical difficulties seeing it on Khloe Prower's side, we will be able to witness it on Ninban's side. Knock on, well, wood, I guess. So the Ninban screen doesn't also flip up.
Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, back of desert.
Oh, wow!
That is important, potentially. It is a green pennant, though. Ninban is just going to steal the key and potentially use it on the front of desert instead. Actually, just saving and quitting here, so probably just going to front of desert right away, because it's right next to Link's house, and if it's nothing, you can just do a reset and get that key back again.
Yeah, it is to have the when in this case finding the Desert Palace back entrance. One of the most common things to do is for runners to steal that key and then try and save spawn into the desert, as you mentioned.
And Ninban finding the key, and the first thing he does is just walk away from desert. And it's gonna head to not sure where Ninban is heading.
Yeah, I guess because I think we didn't quite see everything on Khloe Prower's side, I'm not sure if he did steal a key, because it was so fast. I wanted to say that maybe he didn't have the time to, but then of course, we also didn't see anything, so... Oh, it looks like we will be getting our Bombos tablet check.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, right, that's what I meant with E for tablet.
Oh, okay.
Right, that's not how the tablet works. So much for never being wrong.
You just swap tablet locations. Unfortunately, this is also not a valuable item, but oh, looks like I guess Ninban does not want to keep going in desert, or at least that area. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've seen everything in the desert area for now. And the only thing that he would be able to do there was go back into pod, but I think he has done everything he can in pod without the big key for now.
Yeah, we do see Khloe Prower finding the front of Turtle Rock, so he'll be able to pick up his book here. And then he can also do the same tablets check that I'm sure were so valuable for on Ninban's side.
Oh boy, gotta go up Death Mountain again. Khloe also going the wrong way here in the maze. Gonna be pretty disappointed right about now.
we do not see any reaction, except I guess he's dancing. Even in non-Crosskeys seeds, I mean, it's just very common that you just come here with the hook shot. It's very, very easy to forget.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to go the non-damage route to take it.
It was a nice call there for Khloe to remember to go pick up that full magic before trying this again, though. Because they were missing one shot from being able to light up, and I'm not sure where the spy cave was, but I don't think we've seen this check yet. Ooh, okay.
Oh, that is an incredibly great pickup for Ninban, finding the hook shot. Yeah, we're gonna see right now where spy cave was.
Yeah, walking out, so must be something in the vicinity here that Ninban still wants to check, and I guess for now all the hookshot unlocks is the front, the hookshot cave. But it's definitely going to be very important a little bit later when we find Gannis Tower and the flippers for Swamp Palace. And actually, when we find flippers, that would give us full access to Mire as well.
Yeah, these flippers are pulling double duty today. That hook shot, though, I mean, it does open up, as you said, quite a bit. And did you mention something about also being able to get the items out of hook shot cave?
Yeah, that's gonna be probably, I would imagine, Ninban's first choice after they're done here. I'm not actually even sure what they have left here. Looks like they're going back in the pod. I thought that they got all of the items. Oh, actually, oh yeah, we're unlocking Mr. Mire. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, this could definitely pay off. Just a heart piece, so that's good news for Khloe because they're in the same area here now, but they don't have the quick medallion yet.
Yeah, Khloe looks like actually he does not have actually a couple items that Ninban has. And I think he also didn't visit Super Bunny Cave.
Yep, Super Bunny I think had a big key for Mire and also that half magic. And we're gonna find out what we have in Hookshot Cave here. Feels like there's some good. Yep, there's the
like the flippers. That's
cool.
Unlock a lot.
Yeah, now we can folk their Swamp and Mire from Ninban's position here, which both of them are crystals as well. So this is going to be some really good news here for Ninban. Doesn't have to make some of the more dodgy calling. Can just go for some full clear dungeons instead.
Yeah, we could see on Khloe Prower side just barely missed the bomb throw the first time around. Gets it no problem second time around. We'll head to the back. Up pod, pick up his I think nothing of value in the dark basement. I can't remember what was in the dark maze. Looks like Ninban found his way to the back of Skull Woods so he will certainly. It should be a fairly fast fight for him to kill Moth. That half magic really pulling through for him.
Yeah, and Temper's gonna be super nice in here as well. Yeah, you have to go back, Ninban. Should probably have enough time here still.
Hour and a half with no boots certainly does not feel great. I mean, they're making good headway and progress in PC, so it's not like I think boots is costing them any real progression, but it certainly make the game more enjoyable.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying in one way when you don't have boots, because especially in this scenario when they know that boots are required for Ganon at some point. Really nice moth fight there for Ninban, picking up his second. Oh, he's not very happy though. Picking up his second pendant. He knows that pedestal is nothing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he was he like trying to save a quid or something before the pendant drop, or maybe he just wasn't happy with the result.
Probably wasn't happy. Yeah, this was full crystal knowledge now for Ninban, since they already had one pendant and now got the second pendant, and did talk to Sasha about so. But hey, it could be worse. The good news is that now he knows that Meyer is a crystal, so
Yeah. By process of elimination, by defeating both pendant dungeons, and then talking to Tasha to find out what the third pendant is. He knows where all the crystals are. That's right.
Exactly. So there's some silver lining here. The reason Ninban did not mirror out is as soon as you beat a pendant or any boss, as soon as you pick up the item, you cannot mirror anymore. So you have to actually pick up the item or save and quit at that point.
Ninban did have a very nice Meyer 2 room. With I think he did use sword beams, and I mean that room is probably one of the only or one of few rooms that was actually really nice to go have sword beams in. So he can. So as you said, he most likely will full clear this dungeon because they don't have the lamp quite yet. The basement is not technically in logic, but maybe the lamp is just sitting here in Meyer somewhere. Find a 5th pot key.
Yeah, that's gonna be nice for Ninban to have when he comes back to pod. He doesn't really have to worry about any key situation there anymore.
Ninban taking more advantage of those half magic, saw some enemies in the way, didn't matter, just spam fire rod. Looks like Khloe Prower is going to check the Bombos tablet, get his compass, and then probably he might next to saving pudding, and then probably will do something else.
Ooh, a big key for Hera. Well, it's not as important anymore now that we have the hook shot, but it does mean that we don't have to leave that big chest behind.
Have we found Hera?
Yeah, we did see it from Khloe Prower at the very least, I know, but I cannot remember exactly where it was. And I'm pretty sure it was definitely in the light world somewhere.
Well, that is a very nice big key to find. Big key to pod, 100% required. We'll be very happy to go back and full clear pod.
Okay, looks like Hera is in Eastern. Shoutouts to our trackers, Jinx Girl and Oddwolves, by the way, for tracking this game.
Yeah, certainly keeping both us commentators extremely honest, helping us out when we inevitably forget a location or where we found an item. Thank you so much for doing all the work.
Yep, very helpful. And, especially since I tend to forget stuff all the time. So Ninban was able to do some nice routing here with having some small keys in Meyer already. Could just do like everything in the dungeon in like one big loop, and can do the bridge chest here right before going to the back of Meyer by hookshotting over and then falling down to get back to the other bridge again. Also has the cape or Berna for the dark rooms for like avoiding damage on the spikes. And can also use that on the boss as well. Then just clear the big guy with the arrows if he feel like it.
Khloe Prower has passed both his tablets of disappointment. Alright, looks like he has found Super Bunny Cave as a not bunny. So he won't have to use the Super Bunny abilities, but he'll be able to pick up his half magic there. Ninban getting through these dark basement rooms very nicely. this is not easy at all.
Yeah, definitely one of the more intimidating dark rooms in this game.
Yeah, and sorry about that. As you mentioned, Walter, he has the cape, he has Temper Sword, he has the bow, he has taking some sword spins here, very common strat, but he does have certainly options to be victorious.
Yeah, was using the powder to get some help, so could do some spins that way instead of using the cape. And good news for Khloe here, gonna be able to pick up their hookshot and be on their way to clear out the dungeons that Ninban is clearing out at the moment.
Yeah, certainly assuming he makes a beeline to Hookshot Cave, he'll pick up his flippers, and then he will have his choice to full clear Mire and Swamp. So in Crosskeys, like when you do Swamp, especially when you're missing stuff, do players typically do left side? So I know that in like non-Crosskeys, there's always a decision to skip left side or not.
Yeah, I would say in Crosskeys, the general consensus is to just clear left side first time in, especially now with the diver down. I think it's even more popular, I would imagine. Nice silver arrows right after we beat Vitreous.
Well, he can still use silver arrow. Well, a silver arrow in theory, or ideally on Argus.
Yep. Fun fact: you can now actually use normal arrows on Argus as well, but it's not very efficient because you need like 6 or 8 hits or something like that.
I'm not sure if I've ever attempted a wooden bow Argus fight, like ever.
Yeah, it's I've been trying to get the quick kill there. It's not working.
All right, Khloe Prower, not Khloe, the Ninban in Desert Palace, taking that key that he scummed out of the back, finding a small key to tower repair. Wonder if he is thinking about saving that.
Yeah, it looked like the pause there for Ninban was like, do I save scum this or not? But looks like he decided not to save scum it and just keep it for now. And Khloe's gonna head into Swamp Palace here, be able to full clear it. We're actually not that far away from good mode at this point. Collectively, we would still need big keys for Fuse Town. We would need the Ice Rod, and we would also need second small key to Agate Tower and the boots. Khloe would also need to find a big key for Pod, which was somewhere, I'm not sure where.
It was in Mire.
In Mire, okay, yeah. Right. So probably gonna get that rather soon then.
Yeah, and certainly, having the choice between full clearing Mire and full clearing Swamp, I certainly respect Khloe Prower's decision to go into Swamp first. So he did make a decision. All of Swamp is fully in logic, especially if he finds the lamp here, that'll make his dark Mire basement a lot nicer. And given that we've already seen Mire full cleared on Ninban's side, all the more chances that Swamp has the boots.
Yeah, it's interesting. We also have not seen Ganon's Tower yet, which...
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that location.
Yeah, it's...
like 3 keys or something to that place?
Definitely one of those. It might not be required, but it's quite rare to not see it ever required in a Crosskey seed. To get an Ice Rod here, so that's some nice progression already.
Yeah, no Ice Rock Hunt today. You know, and in fact, actually, this seed didn't actually seem to have that many Ice Rods to hunt. So far, you know, we found the Ice Rod, which we don't have to hunt for anymore. So maybe, and we found a lot of big keys that can normally be last item go modes. So maybe, you know, probably the one that has the highest chance right now of being outstanding is the last Castle Power spot key. We see Diver down using the bomb setup on Khloe Prower's side. Okay, alright. I was worried that he got knocked out of his state there, but it looks like he was able to do it.
Always nice to see that fire bar coming over to give you a hug. Some good luck for your diver down.
Yeah, we actually do see the Canis Maria setup here on Ninban's side. He almost was able to jump down, except he I guess he got rudely interrupted. Alright, so as you postulated, Walther looks like Khloe probably is going to do left side swamp. Hopefully he'll find something that's worthwhile. Alright, so that's a pretty good pickup. Titanus are always welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Unlocks a couple more locations.
Might be our access to Ganna's Tower. Gives us a couple of item locations in terms of like the Smith and the purple chest, but we also get like a couple of new entrances like Tartarok, Ice Palace, vanilla entrances, and hammer picks as well. And with the flippers, we actually have access over to the Dark World Ice Road Cave area, which has 3 more entrances that we have not seen yet.
Ah, yes. I'd also forgotten about that part of the world. Often reserved for runners and crosskeys, partially because, as you mentioned, it is a somewhat out of the way location, and so runners don't tend to want to go there more than once. And so if you can go there with also the mirror and the glove, you can get 6 locations at once. Of course, you know, that's the best case scenario. In this case, they already did the light world portion, so you know they can go back and do the dark world portion in 1 sweep. That's still going to be good enough for this seed.
Mm-hmm.
So as we are coming up to Argus here, Khloe Prower has the Tempered Sword and the Hook Shot. Does not have, and he does have the Fire Rod, so I would definitely imagine his kill is probably going to be just as, if not, it's going to be slightly slower probably than Ninban's, but it won't be much slower.
Yep, has to play a little bit careful though. Has 3 hearts only. Does have blue mail, so can tank 2 hits before dying. Well, 1 hit before dying. Okay, now you have to be a little bit careful here, Khloe. But it looks like the most dangerous part is over. And yeah, no one was even worried.
Up a shovel. I think the only thing that they... Oh no, so they picked up the Ice Rod, that was certainly required. And they picked up the Titansmith, which could open up something that is required. Other than that, I'm not sure if I saw anything else that was of note. Maybe other than the shovel, of course. Looks like Ninban chose to do spin strats on the second phase of Argus instead of shooting a silver arrow. Very comparable fights from both these guys. Although I think we were slightly probably more tense watching Khloe Prower because she was down to 1 heart.
Oh, it's nice when you have the Smith in Kakariko, which is quite often because there's just the amount of entrances here in Kakariko, so always makes it a bit convenient. There's the big key for Thieves Town, so okay, those myths were definitely required. And we're all of a sudden really close to go mode here.
It certainly seems very common for Crosskey seeds, where the first hour and a half ish, you feel like you're like 10 items away from go mode. You've got maybe like one pendant here, crystal there completed, and then in the next half an hour to 45 minutes, you suddenly have like 5 crystals, and you're just 1 item away from go mode.
Yep, and I like both runners' decision here to just do Fuse Town before checking Hammer Pegs and grabbing the purple chest. You could grab the purple chest with you and leave it outside of entrances, but I do believe that if you clear a crystal, the purple chest would despawn and go back to its original position. So good call to go and do this first.
Yes, I have experienced that the hard way.
Not sure about pendants though. That might work.
Yeah, pendants are, I guess, odd because you can certainly have a follower with you, and you can kill a boss, and then if it's a pendant, he'll still follow you. So I'm assuming that means the purple chest will also stay.
Yeah, I think so. I have not tested it out too much.
Okay.
And also, like, this is something that I'm gonna have to do anyways, and they already have the small key. There's no real reason to skip Fuse Town for go mode, because the only thing you could potentially skip at that point would be the big chest anyways, so this definitely seems like a good call for both our runners.
Yeah, and certainly fully in logic, there could be very necessary precaution here. You certainly do not want to last location the big chest in Thieves Town.
So we're closing in on the 2-hour mark here. Both our runners are missing few items still for go mode. And this is the part of the run, I think, when the nerve starts kicking in a little bit. You start thinking, oh man, what if my opponent got like the Moonpearl, their first trip of Death Mountain or something like that. But it looks like their path is pretty clear at the moment, for Khloe at least. I would imagine that Meyer probably next here, after turning in the purple chest most likely and checking the hammer pegs. Ninban probably going for those 2 checks as well first, and might be the first runner to get into the rest of the midst locked and flippers locked entrances, which very well could be holding our key at the moment.
Yeah, certainly Ninban has already cleared Meyer, which he has that overflow power, so that is still a little bit of an advantage for him. And given that he has cleared Meyer, he can just kind of go onto more dungeons such as Hera. Alright, so I think that's our 6th pod key, so now Helmasaur is in logic.
Yep, might be something that Ninban actually does right after turning in the purple chest, because he would kind of be in that same vicinity already. So the items our runners needs for go mode is, well, Khloe needs to pick up the pod big key from Meyer, but except for that, both our runners are still missing 1 small key for Aga Tower, and then the boost to open up Lumberjack, because that's where Ganon is hiding today, and we also got our lamp. So we don't have to do Dark Agate, which is kind of a nice, kind of nice for our runners to be able to skip that.
What a lamp! Well, this is certainly good news for Khloe Prower. He put off Meyer long enough to find the lamp before doing the basement in the dark.
Yeah, that's gonna end up being pretty nice, actually.
Not often in Crosskeys do you have a contention for go mode between boots and a Castle Tower small key.
Oh, and Khloe is skipping the entrance at Hammer Peg. Oh, actually, no, never mind. They've seen that. It was.
Yeah, I think he came out. I don't remember where he came out, but he did came out.
Yeah.
Before he did go.
So that's good thinking to remember that, because I probably wouldn't.
Certainly. Good routing here. I'm going to check the shovel. Glad both runners remembered. Sometimes that shovel, oh, I guess they don't have the flute. So in this case, it wouldn't necessarily be masked. But when you have the flute and you pick up the shovel later, it's very, very easy to forget that you have the shovel and you need to check this location.
Khloe managed to dig up the item on 2 digs. Let's see if Ninban can beat that. Nope. Looks like we're tied there.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's only fair, right? They take the same number of digs at the dig game, so they should only take the same number of digs, you know, with the shovel dig spot.
Yep, seems good to me. So heading back into the Dark World here, might actually be checking the Dark Ice Rock Cave area on the way to Meyer.
Ninban's gonna get his fire shield here. It's got the fighter shield on Khloe Prower's side because he had not beaten Khloe yet. Alright, Ninban looks like he is potentially following suit to go to the Dark Shopping Mall area.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if our runners have GT in their mind right now. It is 27 items in there. Well, we would have access to 26 of them. But we could at least see what the last one is as well.
Yeah, and if they choose to beat Act 2, they can have access to the well, which is 5 more items.
Yep. And I mean, if it ends up being Gannis Tower here, that could actually be a big boost for Ninban, because Ninban would only need to find 2 items, and then Khloe, if they find both items, they would still have to keep searching for that pod big key. Now we're gonna head over to Ice Palace, I would imagine, and that's gonna be a pretty good opportunity for Khloe to just head into Maya right after.
Well, it looks like Ninban is swimming out, so I am curious to see where he goes. Because he is already finished. Oh no, he can check.
Yeah, he's going for the Ice Palace entrance here too.
Yeah, that's great.
And unfortunately for Khloe, they decided to do Skullwoods here. They know it's a pendant, but they also know that there's an item here. But they're not going to be too happy about it. Okay, this is a connector that we have not seen yet, but I'm not sure if we can connect to too many important places at this point.
Yeah, I think on Khloe's side, he has not made a pedestal check, so he, oh man, did he get grabbed? Okay, glad he didn't get grabbed.
Yeah, he did get grabbed! Wow, that looked like it missed him, but, dang, that's tough.
Yeah, I thought the fading animation was the fading animation as he was dropping into Macula, as opposed to the reset back to the Okay, so that is really unfortunate. Yeah, so actually, what happened here, Mr. Ended up grabbing him and sending him back to the beginning of the dungeon.
Wait, there's bugs in this game?
Yeah, he's fighting one right now. Without the bug net, no less.
Man, I wish the bug net could do damage to Macula.
This might have been Khloe Prower's like 5th boss or something with like 1 heart left.
Yep.
Really keep doing our clothes here.
Okay, so unless Gannis Tower is vanilla or boots locked, I think it has to be in Tartarok at this point. I suppose it could be in the big chest or the big bomb pyramid as well.
Oh yes, Pyramid Fairy. We do have the on the Ninban side. We are going to be able to get plastic crystals. Pod being one of them.
However, we're still missing the flute, so we cannot actually get the bomb to the pyramid at this point.
So according to that very useful compass that Ninban picked up for the Palace of Darkness, looks like he is.
Because the lack of big key.
Yeah, it looks like both runners don't have bombos yet, and that is entrance to the vanilla entrance of Killer Rock. So if GT is there, they will need to find bombos sooner.
Okay, yeah. That is a little bit of a dilemma. So I guess Hera would be a pretty good place for both of our runners to head over after this. So we might go to Desert first. But that's our 2 crystals we have open at the moment. I suppose we actually did get the ice rocks. We can actually clear Tart Rock too. Oh, you know what that means? We could actually have a vanilla Ganis tower that has like the boots and the Aga small key. Because we can beat all the crystals.
Oh, that. Oh, another fun surprise. Oh, Crosskeys. That's right. Typically, when you think, oh yeah, like what's behind GT entrance? I need 7 crystals. Surely nothing important could be there. But yes, in this case, we because we know where Ganon is, and we have to go get Castle Tower small key. That absolutely can be unlocked.
Man, now I'm actually really hoping that happens. I mean, I got nothing personal against these runners, but it would just be fun because it's so stupid. Not sure where. Actually, I'm not gonna say anything. Yeah, this is where the Hera big key is. Never mind.
I would imagine Ninban will make his way to Tower Hera very shortly after this, or maybe he'll try to do a pin. Oh no, but he doesn't have the flute. So
yeah, so Hera. I think Hera has to be the play here. Well, Tart Rock is still open as well. But Hera definitely has more items at this point. And I think Laser Bridge is a little bit awkward to get to. Yeah, that's like another mountain climb for them to get there.
If they weren't already sick of like the 5 mountain climbs they already took earlier, I'm sure 6-1 won't hurt. And we did see Ninban pulling out the another bottle with a blue potion, so certainly nice safety. But I'm sure at this point he is interested in other blue items such as the flutes.
Yep.
Looks like Ninban, as you said, looks like he is making his way to Hera, and thanks again to Jinxie Girl for reminding us that this is where Hera is.
Yeah, and stealing the small key from Desert here could actually end up hurting Ninban a little bit, because didn't reset after getting that small key, so if there's nothing in the main part here of Hera, might feel committed to check the basement, as of where Khloe comes over here, can skip that, and it would be out of logic to do that chest at the moment, but see if Ninban decides to do that or not. If you're stealing the small key and not resetting, it feels kind of counterproductive not to check the basement at that point.
Yeah, especially since you're here. It is, I guess, like, so Ninban does have the hook shot. I guess maybe he doesn't want to do the bomb setup for Hera Pot. Doesn't matter. He still makes it up here pretty quickly. Finds the mushroom. We did find the potion shop in a very inconvenient place. I think it was it the light world side? I think it was a light world on the mirror side of the Turtle Rock connector.
Yeah, that would be a bit awkward to get to for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely want to turn that in before heading up the Death Mountain again at that point.
If only they had some magical flying short way to get to the potion shop. Outside the potion shop. Well, Ninban didn't get knocked out, knocked off, because I thought that bounce didn't look very pretty.
Yeah, gets the job done at least, and didn't really get any progression unless that mushroom has something important. So, moment of truth here to see if Ninban decides to go for the basement or just head for Turtle Rock instead. Looks like we're going back in. So this being nothing would definitely be good for Khloe Prower, because Khloe still needs to clear a pod before they can go over here to Hera and catch up a bit. Saving putting to Sanctuary, I'm not sure where Khloe is heading from here. Oh, it looks like up that mountain maybe for Turtle Rock.
But he doesn't have the bombus, two. That's right. Yeah, two.
Yeah, for Laser Bridge for
yeah.
the actual Turtle Rock. Yeah, it's confusing sometimes.
Yeah, assuming, well, I guess, yeah, we're gonna see right now what our basement has for Ninban. Probably not the best feeling in the world. He will need to go find the actual Desert Palace key.
Yep. Is it too late to reset at this point? Yeah, probably. But the good news, at least, is that Desert is just a pendant, so I might not have to find that key in the end anyways.
Looks like we're also heading up the mountain on Ninban's side. Probably his, like, 7th time up here now.
Yep. And the funny part is that after Turtle Rock, Ninban can go into Turtle Rock, or into Ganna's Tower, but by beating Turtle Rock, it's going to spit him out in the front of Turtle Rock. So he's going to have to climb the mountain another time.
Ideally, they would have boots by then.
Oh, that was an unfortunate drop down for Ninban. It's going to have to do this connector again.
Is this like his 7.5 time up the mountain?
I guess, yeah. Khloe, a little bit low health going into this boss fight, as we're getting used to.
Yeah, he's just keeping parity with all his other boss fights at this point.
Alright, so nicely
What
done.
does Friday have for us today?
Alright.
He has a crystal for us.
I mean, that's good. We do want that. So this was actually really good planning from Khloe, because this is going to spit him out in the desert and can just go into pod right away. It's actually really cool routing.
It was probably fun. I believe in Khloe. Yeah. that lag on Ninban side. So far, I think the silver arrows that Ninban picked up hasn't actually given him that much of an advantage. He could have used them on Argus, but I think he chose to spin strats. Other than that, I'm not sure if there was another boss that would have benefited from silvers.
Yeah, the big one is going to be Ganon in the end. If Khloe doesn't have them, it saves roughly around a minute in the boss fight. But then I guess it took like maybe half a minute to go grab the silvers. But still a time saver, I think.
Yeah, it might be a faster pickup for him, for Khloe Prower, because he has the mirror and he has the flippers. So if he's ever kind of in that area, he can in the dark world he can just mirror and then get Hobo immediately. Whereas Ninban, I think, actually has to swam up there.
Yep, that would be nice routing if they're able to do that for sure. So 7 crystals for Ninban. Gonna climb the tower, the mountain again, I imagine, and then head into Ganon's tower potentially. I think that's the only thing left at this point. I can think of at least.
He's thinking.
One of those scenarios where you're like, wait, I did everything, and then you look at your tracker and you're like, wait, I have 7 crystals. Oh, went out the front instead of the back here to get up to the mountain.
Yeah,
it's heading to the back.
Yeah, I mean, how often do you get to say that in a randomizer seed, you got to get 7 crystals and then open up GT, and then still keep going after that?
Okay, so I guess we have like a little bit of a unique scenario here where we can play a guessing game in Ganon's tower, most likely. It's not going to be like any official guessing game or whatever, but anyone want to guess where our progression in Ganon's tower is going to be, feel free to do so.
So we need a castle tower small key for sure. We could need the flute if the pyramid fairy location is required, and then we could need the boots if any of the like bonk rock locations or the torch is required.
And Ninban wasting no time. Probably their last trip up the mountain. I do say probably because there is still a little bit of a scenario where you could have to climb one more time. But quite unlikely at this point, I think.
For these runners' sake, I hope this is the last time that they have to climb.
And there's our vanilla Ganon's tower.
Right. What a vanilla location. Alright, so the basement is totally open for Ninban. This is his like normal GT routing. Go right side first.
Yeah, skipping the Hope Room, a little bit interesting.
Like Khloe Prower is on his way to Hera, will he get his 7th crystal, and then I wonder if he will also take the same pause to realize that Ganon's tower will be open to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, looks like Ninban doing a little bit of a dark magician around here, maybe just to maximize the amount of chests he can get as soon as possible. Oh man, I can't wait for the basement to be empty and they have to find Ganon's tower.
Oh. Alright, it looks like very tricky. Oh no, is he gonna do Tile Room? Slightly non-traditional GT big key hunting game.
Yeah, sometimes you see people do tile room first if they don't have the big key, because they don't want to go all the way over to the big chest before. They want to kind of maximize their chances of having the big key before heading over there. But in this case, they already have the big key, so doing tile room here, a little bit of an interesting choice.
Ninban choosing to take a dance with these tiles. He does have the cape, so he could have used the cape and then kind of like grab onto a wall to kind of avoid any damage and not drain his magic. In this case, I think he just wanted some movement. Third time's the charm for Ninban here, getting the switch hit with the Kinesamari block.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Khloe has picked up their 7 crystal as well, so they can head up to Ganosar as well now. Bar progression is in here, which is most likely will be. Ninban definitely have the advantage at the moment.
And if he ends up finding a Desert Palace small key here, then things will definitely have evened out. Then he doesn't have to worry if there's progression in Desert.
Yeah, I guess the nightmarish scenario for Ninban would probably be like a big key for Desert here in the basement, and maybe the small key in the upstairs. But even at that point, I think Khloe would probably still climb before going away to Desert. Sivian quitting. Don't have boots yet, Ninban. I don't know if that's a very good idea.
He did find progression. I don't actually know what chest number that was.
Yeah, though, not sure. 13, I think, but 14. Let's just check the time room. But yeah, he's gonna go beat Aga, but he cannot. This won't actually do anything for him, because without the boots, he cannot get to Ganon yet. So yeah, I guess in the end, yeah, Ninban is gonna have to climb the mountain one more time after all. So this actually puts Khloe Prower in the driver's seat, I think, because if Khloe continues here and gets the boots before leaving, then can do Aga Tower with the boots. Doesn't have to climb the mountain one more time, and yeah, this could actually be a kind of a big deal here. I thought Khloe was gonna open the middle door here. That would have been cool, because you definitely have enough keys to do it at this point. Also doing time room early here.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to do the hug wall with cape break. I guess we'll see if Khloe Prower saves and quits out after he gets the Castle Tower small key. Or maybe he will find a flute, and he will then decide to quit out early. Unlikely, but I guess like you never know.
Oh, getting hit by the bunny beam.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate hit.
This is a pretty high-stake game, by the way. This is the loser brackets round, so whoever wins gets to continue into the next round of the tournament. But the Fortunately, we're gonna have to go say goodbye to one of these runners in this tournament today. As is the nature of tournaments, but
Yeah, certainly both of these runners are very skilled at crosskeys, just great runners in general. So I think in terms of this tournament specifically, Ninban lost his first match, got knocked out early to the losers bracket, but then won his last match against Chimo. Khloe Prower ended up winning his first match, but then ended up losing very slightly by his second match, which is what got him knocked down to the losers bracket here.
okay, so Khloe going to the left side now. See if they have the same reaction of saving and quitting when they find the key. For Khloe's sake, I hope not. Because we didn't really get anything else that can lead to the boots in Ganna's tower from what Ninban checked, I don't think. We still haven't checked the mushroom yet, I suppose, so that's something that they could do before heading back up the mountain. But then again, I think we did say that the potion shop is up on the mountain anyways. Yeah, okay, they're just going straight back up the mountain. I guess the mountain climb isn't too long here. Oh, Khloe is climbing the mountain, or climbing the tower.
Wow.
Before heading to Ice Armors. This is an aggressive play here. Okay, this is probably going to be the decider of the game, if it's on Ice Armors or not. Because I would imagine Ninban would go up, go to Ice Armors first. But I guess Ninban, at least after killing Aga, got placed on the pyramid, so the mountain climb back up wasn't too bad. But it's still something that could have been avoided, I think.
Yeah, he's really had to go through that connector, and that connector was not the best connector to have to get up to Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm. So Ninban is gonna go to Ice Armors. So if boots are upstairs or in Kakariko Well, then Khloe is definitely in the lead. But if it's in the basement, it's definitely Ninban's race to win at this point, or lose at this point.
Yeah, I am certainly curious as to why Khloe Prower decided to climb GT first before finishing the basement.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be all kinds of, like, you could feel really behind at this point potentially, and at that point maybe climbing instead of doing the basement makes a little bit more sense. But at the same time, the potential risk, if it's not upstairs, is pretty high, because you're gonna have to climb the mountain one more time as well. Then again, it will be put on the pyramid as well, so the mountain climb won't be too bad. But it will definitely be long enough that Ninban should have a very good advantage at that point. Oh, Random Room has bombos, so Third Rock entrance open, and we got a flute as well. Okay, the flute opens up the pyramid bomb, but you would have to leave the mountain to activate the flute first. But at least you won't have to take the connector up that mountain anymore. You can just flute up for once.
Very uncommonly seen room in GT, because normally you have the boots here by now. You can just walk right over. You cannot do that without boots. You can enemy damage, but probably at that point, Ninban probably just thought it was faster to take the portal.
It's interesting. About 2 hours and 24 minutes ago, our runners learned that they were going to get boots before the sea was over. We're still searching for them.
Yeah, it looks like Ninban wanted to do a Helma enemy bump instead of a bomb jump. Gets a second try.
Yeah, that was
very cute to see.
Okay, first 2 upstairs, nothing. Same for Bob's chest, so we got 3 more chests in the basement, and we got 2 more upstairs, but then we also got 5 in Cackwell.
10 arrows onto Moldern 2, and this is where Ninban's silver arrows will give him an advantage over Khloe Prower.
Oh, and it's not in the basement.
Oh man.
This is big news. That's a big key. Oh, and Ninban stole the small key and wasted it, so he would have to find the small key if boots are on Lemolas or on Sashla.
That is not something that you want to see on Ninban's side. Now, of course, the good news is that, as mentioned before, Khloe Prower still needs to go back to the basement to get his Castle Tower small key. So Ninban does have some. He can buy himself some time if while.
Okay, yeah, Khloe climbed before the small key. Yeah, I missed that part. Okay, so that's good news for Ninban.
So this is a surprisingly close race, but not in the way that we might have guessed.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, if it's in Tartarok or behind the big ball, then that's good news for Ninban as well. I think at this point, who knows? So Khloe will jump down here, and if they don't get boots, probably go straight back up the mountain for Gannis Tower.
Tossing a bomb for good luck.
Okay, 4 more chests to go. There they are.
They found the boots.
Okay, but still need that small key, and probably is gonna first thing they do. Would imagine just be going for the boots locations, and then maybe even head over to Desert Palace. While Ninban would only need to go grab those boots and then be in go mode.
Yeah, certainly. In the last chest of on the GT climb, when he sees the Desert Palace big key, he is not going to be happy. But then when he finds the boots, he will be very much relieved.
Yeah, it will be an Aga fight in between of questioning your life decisions.
That is an amazingly terrible spot though for the boots.
Yeah.
2.5 hours later.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, Ninban definitely has a big advantage here. Gonna get the boots and being go mode, and also have already cleared Aga Tower, so probably take a miracle at this point for Khloe to turn this one around.
Also, not too commonly seen in Crosskeys, although probably the most likely mode, Ninban does have 20 hearts. Which means he did not give up any heart keys that he found.
Yep.
I think he tried at Zora, but he didn't seem to kind of like move away just in time.
I mean, having 20 hearts in Crosskeys, it's a badge of honor.
Just really going for that.
It means you either did something right or something terribly wrong.
Now, what I would like for them to go back to do is get the red mail from the library in the Dark World bomb shop location near Lake Hylia. Oh, Moldorn! 20 hearts, it still cannot prevent a Moldorn fall.
And this is the moments where I wish we could have the runners commentating the race instead.
We'll just have put them on like a 3-hour stream delay or something, and then they can just self-commentate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know a lot of cursing in French, but I imagine Ninban said all of them.
It seems like as you postulated, after getting the boots, He did desert and all of the desert keys. He did desert, now he's going to check the boot slot locations before probably going back to GT basement. Yeah, and on Khloe Prower's side, I do not believe he did a pencil check.
Don't think so.
Looks like that's not only is he not going to do a check, he, I believe, should just blindfold at this point.
I imagine they will for sure. Probably a little bit sad when you see the revelation here. I think there was only like some couch cash on pedestal.
Yes. But, you know, at least that thief kind of knocked a few rupees out of him, you know, to at least make this a little bit more worthwhile.
Okay, I don't know whose audio we have on stream, but the audio for pulling pad on Khloe's MSU was pretty amazing.
We will see Ninban's sigh of relief here.
Yeah, let's go mode. Continue quit the Sanctuary and go straight up to Lamiak from there. Oh, I guess we did beat Aga, so have to mirror before we can save and quit.
Yes, go mode straight into Ganon.
See if Ninban remembers to activate the flute, which we of course won't do. In the end, though, definitely gotta respect the call for Khloe to use climb. Definitely was spicy, but it was just honestly just one chest too early. If you just got one more chest on the left side, it would have gotten that, or two more chests on the left side, I suppose, they would have gotten that small key first.
Yeah, because it was in the Fire Snake room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and really, I mean, that Castle Tower small key is just like another mini ice rod, right? In this case, it seems like Khloe flipped a coin, and it just kind of turns out not in his favor this time. Certainly could have been right in another seat.
Imagine Khloe not be too happy to see this small key to Hera.
I would imagine that he does GT basement before he does basement of Tower of Hera.
Maybe. I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go for Hera though, because you invested all of this time by climbing again this tower and then following the progression from the boots and the big keys for desert and all that. So at that point, maybe they feel committed to just to keep going for it and just admit that it's going to be a loss if it's in the basement. So Ninban almost, into phase 4 here. Does have silvers. It's a stunning right away and falls. So yeah, data red. Ninban did not die on 20 hearts. That's the good news. Bad news is we're gonna have to do this fight one more time.
He is down to about half health. He will not have the full 20 hearts that he initially had when he walked out of Sanctuary. But he does have a blue potion on him, so he at least has a little bit of safety.
Yeah, it should be fine here. Maybe a little bit tilted after how this seed played out and then also taking a fall on top of that, but as we can see, he definitely has the time to do another fight without just playing it safe. But I can definitely understand just trying to damage boost through here, trying to get through as fast as possible.
It's certainly on Tico and Khloe Power side. You are correct in your postulation that he has done Hera basement before going back to GT.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. It's just not going to end up being worth this time around.
really have to give a shout out to both these runners. They had a essentially boostless seed for 2.5 hours.
Oh, and Ninban, and it's not gonna have to run all the way over here again. And now this has gotta be playing some nerves now, because you don't take 2 deaths or 1 fall and 1 death on Ganon, being like 2 hours and 38 minutes into a Crosskey seed without being nervous of your opponent finishing any moment now.
I did forget that he had to reblock the tree.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that logic works out, but I guess the lumberjacks are used to like picking up all the leaves and throwing it back on their tree again.
Alright, take 3 on Ninban's side. It's having a better time than the last 2 so far.
Yeah, surely nothing can go wrong now. In fact, Ganon, I dare you to kill Ninban.
Go ahead.
I said I dare Ganon to kill Ninban this time. I don't think it can happen again.
Okay, see, we are going to get a new check, looks like, on Khloe Prower's side. So he's just turned into mushroom, so looks like he will follow that.
Oh, sing a small key. That's just.
Oh, the Turtle Rock. His hopes, I'm sure, were raised and then dashed oh so quickly.
Okay, phase 4 again. Misses the first arrow, but that's fine as long as you don't fall or die. Oh, okay, don't walk into Ganon. You have a potion, Ninban. You can't use it. No one will be angry if you do. Okay, 1 more hit.
Again, cautiously with his gun. Alright, last hit on Ganon.
So don't dash too early here, Ninban.
What a performance by both these runners. Alright,
Yeah,
Ninban.
definitely he's in for Ninban. And Khloe Prower has decided to forfeit, which is very understandable at this point. It's been a rough seed.
Yeah, certainly get your GGs in chat for Khloe Prower. Played incredibly well. Put up an amazing fight. Certainly, both these runners deserve quite a bit of commendation here for going for even doing the seed to begin with.
It looks like I think both of the runners want to interview, so we'll get to ask them.
Sure. We would like to interview them.
I'm just waiting on it. Alright, there they are in the waiting room. Hello, how are you two?
Hello.
Hi, yo.
Yo, GG's.
GG's, guys. How was the seed?
Oh, it was miserable.
Well, it wouldn't be a George see if it wasn't miserable, so you can hashtag blame George all you want.
I'm curious, Ninban, how many times did you go through Hookshot Cave?
Way too many, way too many.
I felt like that
I'm
was
surprised.
the most used connector ever. Hookshot Cave to the fairy refill cave to get to Death Mode.
Yeah, that was annoying. And we didn't have Boots, like Boots was go mode behind freaking GT.
Yeah, I know, it was terrible.
Yeah, how does it feel to be like 5 minutes in and know that you're gonna get boots before this is over, and then like 2 hours and 30 minutes later still be searching for boots?
Yeah.
And I didn't find Flute either. I'm not sure if Ninban did.
Oh, Fruit was in Randomizer home.
Oh, okay. So
Oh, GT.
so I went into GT, I did the right side, and then I'm just like, I'm so far behind, I'm just gonna climb the darn thing.
Oh,
And hope that the Aga Tower small key was behind whatever's up there.
yeah. The mistake I did in GT is I took the Castle Tower small key and I thought, hey, that's go mode. So I went and did Aghanim's Tower, and while doing it, I forgot that I needed boots. So I went back up the connector and into GT.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So when you Ninban save and quit out after you got the small key, Khloe Prower was in GT and he was exploring. I think it was right side at the time. And so when you save and quit out, we were all like, "Oh my gosh! Like this is going to be terrible. Khloe Prower is going to get the lead." And then I think Khloe Prower at some point you did some of left side, and then you decided to climb. And then we're like, "Oh my gosh, no!" So it was really very tense on our side.
I mean, I felt so far behind at that point. I'm like, it's the same amount of items if I go left or go up. So I'm gonna just try and go up and see what that happens. And then I got boots in the Desert Palace keys, and that just everything went terrible. And I pulled pet.
No. Yeah, I never did. I never found the Desert Small Key, and I guess it was in the cave with the boots.
It was like 3 feet away from the boots. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, how stressed were you when you saw the big key for desert and in the top of Ganon's tower with stealing the small key?
Not too much, because I knew it wasn't in logic, but like it almost was in logic anyway, and like the small key was like either in that cave with the boots, or behind the boots, or in the Fat Fairy entrance, or at Turtle Rock entrance. So like I was full clearing anyway, and I think it was the same for Khloe. So
I mean, there was nothing you could have done besides full clear the seat. I mean,
yeah,
Vanilla Ganon's Tower and Entrance Randomizer is probably the worst thing, and it's even worse when it's a required Ganon's Tower.
yeah.
Yeah, we were definitely hoping that was not going to be the case. Me especially.
Like, it wouldn't be bad if like, Ganon was literally anywhere. Like, even Pyramid would be better, because at least you know where you're going at that point.
Well, you don't need the boots at that point.
Yeah, this definitely ended up being a pretty crazy seed. You guys took very divergent paths in the beginning. I think Ninban's route ended up being a little bit more efficient because you got the gloves a bit earlier. But then you both ended up getting Moon Pearl almost at the same time. Ninban was in Ice Palace and Khloe did Eastern, but then when you guys were done with those dungeons, you kind of just switched and then headed into Dark World after that.
Yeah, Ice Palace we hit everything for really early, and it was completely useless. There was nothing in there. I mean,
I don't think I ever checked my Dark World map, because the first 2 Dark World dungeons I completed were the pendants.
I did check for Skullwoods, but yeah, pretty much same. I mean, I think when I got the Moon Pearl in Eastern, that was last location, I couldn't think of anything else that I could do that was in logic unless there was someone else I could talk to as a bunny.
Yeah, I still had quite a few entrances to check in the Dark World, but I didn't want to go that way yet. But it was my next step. I had no other choice.
It's not like super terrible with the mirror, but it's still annoying.
Yeah. Because you find entrances and most of the time you just cannot do anything inside of them.
Right.
So it's not really useful.
I mean, at least it gave us swords. I can't complain. We had Master Sword fairly early, and Tempered wasn't too far behind.
Yep. That was good.
Yeah, and just the whole Kakariko area was pretty pretty sick. But like, not only the swords, but like hammer and mirror early was
Yeah,
still pretty nice.
Hammer, mirror, and armor. I mean, it was nice combat-wise. There wasn't any like super stressful fights. It was just the logic for the seed was pretty awful.
I mean, we were pretty stressful during a couple of your fights, Khloe, not gonna lie, because you were like at one hard on multiple bosses.
Oh, that happens. Don't worry.
Yeah, actually, so speaking of stressful, were you stressed at all at the end there, Ninban, when fighting Ganon? The first, the second, or the third time?
Not really. At that point, I was just waiting for Khloe to finish the seed.
You were so far ahead at that point because, you know, as we've seen, Khloe did not get the small key, right? And so then he just did not, he did everything else after that that was not GT basement related. Had to go check like Bonk Rocks and, you know, he turned in the mushroom and...
I got very distracted by the desert geese.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
understand.
think you made the right call in that in that sense that like after you climbed, it made sense to just follow all the progression that you got instead of going back up to Ganon's Tower again.
Oh yeah, I felt like my only out at that point was that if it was behind the climb. Like I felt like if it wasn't, I would have lost, and it wasn't, and I lost.
Also, Ninban, congratulations on getting all 20 heart containers in the seed.
Yeah, I'm so happy. 20 heart containers.
Yeah, I saw you, I think, try to avoid the heart keys at Zora. I'm not sure if you were able to move out of the way in time.
No, I did actually take it because I think it was still a bit early in the seed, and I think I had less than 10, so I just took it. Yeah, like, why not?
Yeah,
I would have liked to avoid the shields though, but can't have everything.
I was really hoping that at the end, after you got boots, you would go get red mail from the library in the Dark World.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what that was, but yeah, I know I saw the red mail there, but I didn't take note because I knew I would not come back for that.
Yeah, there was at the by the lake, I think.
Yeah.
Little house there that I think is a fortune teller. I can't remember.
But yeah, GG's to both of you. Ninban, you're moving on to the next round. I'm not sure if
I think I'm against ZeldaSpeedRuns in the next round.
Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Oh,
And unfortunately, Khloe, this is the last game for you in this tournament. But definitely put up one hell of a show in the last race here.
Yeah, I mean, these are so fun. I'm glad I won one race in brackets, so I can't complain too much. These are hard. I mean, I had Top Life and Ninban as the two people who beat me. I can't complain about that.
Yeah, with the qualifiers picking out the top 64 players, it's going to be a hard matchup, almost no matter who you face.
Right, and I mean, even some really good players have lower seeds, and there's been so many upsets in these matches. It's been crazy.
Yeah, I certainly want to commend both of you on just finishing the seed. So 2 hours and 40 minutes is still like on average like longer than normal Crosskey seed, but you guys didn't have boots for 2 hours and 40 minutes, so it probably felt even longer. I mean, Crosskeys is normally a game of endurance. I mean, this really tested both you guys, and the fact that you guys made it through, and actually made it through like quite well. Very nicely done execution throughout. Very, very nicely done to both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again for having us.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. This was we did have we were kind of close on volunteers, but then last minute we got the second tracker in, so we actually managed to put this restream on. So speaking of trackers, just want to thank just want to thank Jinxie Girl and... It's embarrassing. I thought that Odd Walls. Yeah, I have terrible short-term memory. Odd Walls. I have terrible short-term memory. I apologize. Yeah, Odd Walls and Jinxie Girl tracking this match. And of course to our beautiful commentators, Clear Mouse and Wolf of 4. But yeah, with that being said, I'll send you all over to another runner. If there's anything, is there anything else you want to say?
I guess my final thoughts were certainly GG's to both of you guys, Khloe, Prower, and Ninban. You guys, as I said, put on one heck of a show for us. Very enjoyable to watch, even though it was 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I wish you guys had booth sooner. Walter, thank you so much for commentating with me. It was a blast, lots of fun. Made the 2 hours and 40 minutes go by very quickly. And,
Yeah,
and thank you so much, George, for restreaming.
No problem.
it was definitely a lot of fun. GG's to both runners again. And Ninban, good luck against DataPlate. Not
Thanks.
that you're gonna need it.
I hope he beats me.
Alright everyone, catch you next time.